Have you ever stopped to imagine what the world of American football might look like if Patrick Mahomes had walked away before his journey even began? Sounds like the plot of a Hollywood drama, doesn't it? But believe it or not, it almost became a reality. A revelation from our star quarterback's mother sent shockwaves through the NFL this week, leaving fans speechless. Yes, you heard that right. The very same man who revolutionized the quarterback position, who boasts 3 Super Bowl titles and 2 MVP awards, once contemplated quitting the game while he was still in high school. Can you believe that? This incredible story surfaced thanks to a casual Q&A session on his mother, Randy Mahomes' Instagram. And today, we're diving into the moment Patrick Mahomes nearly walked away from football, a decision that could have altered not just the destiny of the Kansas City Chiefs, but the entire NFL landscape. So smash that like button because this story is simply too powerful to miss. Before he became an NFL icon, Patrick was just a kid from Texas trying to carve out his path in the world of sports. Gifted, yes, but also a teenager navigating some dark and uncertain moments. Moments that could have easily kept us from ever knowing the name Mahomes. Today, he's the face of clutch comebacks and creative brilliance. The no-look passes, the mid-air spins, the leadership under pressure. But none of that would exist if he had made a different choice back when everything still hung in the balance. This video serves as a powerful reminder. Even the greatest face self-doubt, and sometimes all it takes is the right word at the right moment to reshape the course of a life or an entire franchise. So stick around until the very end. This story will move you. It all began with a simple social media moment. Randy Mahomes opened a question box on Instagram. Amid questions about family and everyday life, one inquiry stirred a vivid memory from Patrick's younger years. She revealed that during high school, Patrick hit a rough emotional patch. One day he came home, looked her in the eye and said, "Mom, I think I want to stop playing football." Yes, the man who would one day redefine the game nearly gave it all up before the world ever saw his greatness. It's the kind of revelation that seems hard to grasp. How could Mahomes, of all people, consider walking away? But it's true, and if it hadn't been for a mother's wisdom and encouragement, the entire story might have played out very differently. Picture a young Patrick Mahomes in high school, overflowing with potential in multiple sports, but emotionally drained. The pressure, the expectations, the inner doubts, they weighed heavily on him. Like many teens, he became uncertain and vulnerable, and at one point he genuinely considered walking away from football. Not because he lacked talent, but because it simply didn't feel right anymore. The spark was gone, the passion had dimmed. It's almost surreal to think about, isn't it? One of the most electrifying careers in NFL history, nearly extinguished before it could ignite. But then came a turning point thanks to his mother's steady voice. Her reply was simple but profound. You know what's worse than playing a bad game or even losing? Sitting on the sidelines all season wondering what might have been because you never even tried. That wasn't pressure. That wasn't force. That was perspective, the kind only a mother who truly knows her child can offer. And that one moment changed everything. Let me know if you'd like it tailored for narration with pauses and emphasis, or if you want a condensed version for social media. He understood it immediately. Giving up wouldn't bring relief, only regret. And that realization, it changed everything. All it took was a conversation, a small nudge, and a decision that ended up rewriting NFL history. Because from that moment forward, Patrick Mahomes never looked back. And thank God for that. It's important to remember, Mahomes wasn't just the football kid. He was a rare multi-sport prodigy. In high school, he was a phenomenal baseball player, walking in the footsteps of his father, a former pro. He also lit up the basketball court with the same natural brilliance. But football was different. It was his canvas, a stage where his raw creativity, improvisation, and genius for reading the game could come alive. And even though he hadn't yet realized the full extent of his potential, something was already being born on those Friday night lights. Fortunately, he chose to stay. And the rest, my friends, is history, unfolding right before our eyes with each electric season in Kansas City, because it was on that field that the magician was born. The man who would change the NFL forever. Now just stop and think. Chiefs Kingdom. What if Mahomes had turned his back on football and never returned? There would have been no miraculous comeback against the Texans in the 2019 playoffs. No unforgettable performance under the Super Bowl spotlight. No Mahomes magic. The Kansas City Chiefs might still be searching for their next franchise quarterback, and we as fans might never have felt the euphoria of lifting 3 Lombardi trophies in 5 unforgettable years. It's almost unimaginable, because today, Mahomes and the Chiefs are virtually synonymous. And what's even more astonishing? His yes to football came during a moment of uncertainty, a crossroads. One conversation, one decision, one mother's wisdom. That's how razor thin the line is between giving up and becoming a legend. Because once Mahomes chose to press forward, he never looked back. He dominated in high school, caught the attention of pro scouts in baseball, but ultimately chose the pigskin path. At Texas Tech, he dazzled with a cannon arm and fearless style. Even without major accolades in college, his talent was impossible to ignore. Andy Reid saw it before anyone else. And in 2017, he made one of the boldest, smartest moves in franchise history, trading up to select Mahomes 10th overall in the NFL draft. And what followed? Pure epic. In his first season as a starter, he was crowned league MVP. In his second, he delivered a Super Bowl victory. Since then, it's been season after season of redefining what a quarterback can be. Today, Mahomes is the standard, the one young QBs want to emulate, the one defenders fear, the one fans adore. He's fused technique, flair, and leadership into a completely new archetype of quarterback. He didn't just enter the record books, he charged in with fireworks. In 2018, at just 23 years old, he passed for over 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns in a single season. League MVP, one of the greatest breakout campaigns in NFL history. Then came the rings, Super Bowl LIV, and later LVII. Sure, there were setbacks like the loss in Super Bowl LV, but every stumble became a stepping stone. Each triumph reinforced the Chiefs' dynasty. Every snap, every no-look pass, every impossible scramble became part of the Mahomes spectacle. And the most incredible part? He's just getting started. At only 29, Mahomes still hasn't hit his ceiling, and now in 2025, with a newly restructured contract, he's not just focused, he's locked in. His eyes are on the future, on building a true dynasty, on leaving a legacy that will echo through generations. This contract wasn't just about numbers. It was a declaration, a strategic move to ensure long-term success, attract reinforcements, and send a message to the world. Mahomes is far from done. And when Mahomes sets his sights on something, he makes it happen. Every offseason, he returns sharper, wiser, and more dangerous. Every practice, he lifts the level of those around him. Every game, he reminds us we are witnessing greatness. And to think, all of this nearly became a what if, a story of what could have been if he had quit. But he didn't. He stayed, he fought, he conquered, and we, the Red Nation, are witnessing a legacy in the making. We're living in an NFL era where championship windows slam shut faster than ever. Even dynasties aren't immune. But Kansas City? They've defied the trend. They've done something rare. Remain dominant while retooling on the fly. Every offseason, a key contributor walks out the door. Tyreek Hill, Frank Clark, Orlando Brown Jr., now Justin Reed. And yet, the machine keeps humming. That doesn't happen by chance. It's the result of elite scouting, calculated decisions, and an organizational culture that doesn't blink under pressure. Enter Justin Simmons. At 30, Simmons may not be a decade-long solution, but he's exactly the type of veteran who can steady the ship while the next generation, Jaden Hicks, Brian Cook, develops into full-time starters. Let's not sugarcoat it. This wouldn't be a ceremonial signing. Simmons isn't just a respected presence. He's still a force on the field. This is a player with something to prove, a player still hungry, a player who wants a ring and knows what it takes to chase one. And when you drop that level of fire into a locker room led by Mahomes, Chris Jones, Travis Kelce, and Andy Reid, that's not just depth. That's ignition. This potential move would echo across the league. It wouldn't be about plugging a temporary gap. It would be a message that says the standard hasn't changed. The hunger hasn't faded. Even after a Super Bowl defeat and salary cap gymnastics, the Chiefs aren't sitting back. They're sharpening their edge. And for opposing offenses, good luck. Trent McDuffie is quickly becoming a lockdown corner. Well, Jarius Sneed may be gone, but his replacement could already be in-house or on the way via the draft. Now imagine Simmons patrolling over the top. One of the NFL's premier ball hawks. You don't just throw deep against that. You hesitate, and in the NFL, hesitation is fatal. Beyond X's and O's, let's talk culture. Simmons isn't just respected, he's revered across the league among peers, opponents, coaches, analysts. He's a consummate pro, a tone setter, a competitor who rises to big moments. Plug him into the Chiefs culture, a locker room built on discipline, grit, and high expectations, and you've got a seamless fit, a leader who won't have to say much to command attention. His preparation, consistency, and play will do the talking. Now picture Steve Spagnuolo with Simmons in his toolkit. You've already got one of the most innovative defensive minds in the game. Now you give him even more freedom, more flexibility to disguise, confuse, and attack from all angles. This isn't just a veteran signing, it's a statement. The Chiefs aren't rebuilding, they're reloading with intent. Adding Justin Simmons to this defense, that's like giving Spags a Swiss Army knife with an edge sharper than ever. He's the kind of player you can drop into the box, plant in deep center field or line up against tight ends in the slot, and trust him to win. That kind of versatility, it expands your playbook and forces offenses to locate him before every single snap. He becomes a problem no matter where he's lined up. And make no mistake, this is a postseason move. The regular season, we know the Chiefs can weather storms and figure things out. But January, that's where legacies are built. And when the lights are the brightest, you don't want maybes on the field. You want men who've been in the fire, players who don't blink on 3rd and goal with everything on the line. That's what Simmons brings. And to land that kind of experience and impact for under $6 million, 0 cents, that's not just value, that's daylight robbery. That's Brett Veach doing what Brett Veach does, quietly pulling off another chess move while the rest of the league is still playing checkers. So let's throw it out there for Chiefs Kingdom. Should Kansas City sign Justin Simmons? Should we go from watching him lock down against us to watching him lock it down for us? Drop your thoughts in the comments. S for sign, P for pass, and tell us why. Let your voice be heard. Because this isn't just some off-season rumor. It's real. It's active. It's now. Simmons has already said he wants to sign quickly. He's looking to dive into an off-season program, build relationships, establish roots. In Kansas City, we could be the perfect fit. If the Chiefs want to stay one step ahead in a loaded AFC, this is the kind of move that keeps the dynasty humming. So I'll ask again, is Simmons the missing piece? Could a former rival become the next defensive hero in red and gold? Sound off below. Smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on notifications, because if this deal goes through, we'll break it all down for you faster than a Mahomes 2-minute drill. I'm Tyler Jones. This has been the Chiefs Report. Until next time, Kingdom, stay sharp, stay hungry, and stay locked in. See you next the video.